unload it. Okay, during the movement of that crane from one position to another position, the load is held in its position, right? So it should not fall down due to gravity. Hence, to avoid the free fall or the gravitational pull or the problem that it may cause, what they do is they attach a counterbalance wall. This counterbalance wall prevents the load from falling under gravity. Okay. Now, if you see the basic functions of the counterbalance wall, it avoids the uncontrolled movement of the cylinder. Then generally used for earth moving equipments, as I explained to you. Okay, it is used for earth moving equipments. It consists of, what is the construction of a counterbalance wall? How do you say it's a counterbalance wall? A combination of two pilot relief walls are connected to each other. Okay, so there will be a circuit. You can see a circuit which has been displayed here, but we will not study the circuit because when you go to the next chapter, there you have to study the complete circuit. But what is the valve operation? What is the basic need for this valve to do? What should it do? For that, it will hold the load for some time, like lifting the trolley of the tractors or the trucks, and it will keep that load. It will sustain that load for some time till it is dumped onto the other place. So the fluid flow is controlled by resisting it from one side and free from the other side. Okay, so there will be flow which will be blocked at one side, and on the other side it will be a free flow. Fine. So that is what is your counterbalance valve application. Okay. So this was one valve which was left over in the earlier class. So safety valve, I think I had explained to you regarding what is the safety valve. So safety valves are those valves which will immediately release the pressure that is built up in the hydraulic system. So because of excess flow of oil, if the pressure rises beyond a particular level, then you need to release that pressure. So that is possible by using a safety valve. That is how it works. Now let us see.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, can you on the recording?
Yes, yes. Thank you for that. Hmm. Okay, so I will just take you to the video. Give me a minute. Okay, so I will just take you to the video. Give me a minute. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ counterbalance valve ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಏನು ಆಪರೇಷನ್. ಇವು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಅವ ಅಂತ ಚಲೋ ಅದ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ನಾವು ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗೋದು. Yes, all of you. One second.
Welcome to Lunchbox session.
Just confirm if you are able to see this video.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will on it. This is a counterbalance valve application with a live example what it does.
Bite-sized industrial training. Last week, Carl was using a pilot-operated check valve to hold a heavy load on a vertical cylinder.
What we found out is that while lowering the cylinder and with gravity acting on the heavy load, motion was uneven unless we imposed a restriction on oil flow leaving the bottom cylinder port. This made for very slow hydraulic cylinder speed, and this low speed might be just fine for some applications, such as outrigger cylinders on a crane. But if we need the vertically loaded cylinder to be lowered at a higher rate of speed, production speeds perhaps, we need a different solution. Let's change over to a counterbalance valve. Like the pilot-operated check valve, counterbalance valve has 1, 2, 3 main ports. The reverse flow check valve assembly for raising the cylinder is usually integrated into the counterbalance valve assembly. Counterbalance is a normally blocking pressure-activated valve with adjustable spring. When enough pressure is present on this internal pilot line, the poppet, represented by the arrow in the middle of the valve symbol, will be pushed towards the port connections, thereby allowing flow. When the spring is stronger, the poppet will be pushed towards the normally closed position once again. Like the pilot-operated check valve, the counterbalance valve also has an external pilot line, and once again, no flow occurs on this pilot line. Pressure value from the cylinder port that is opposite to the one where we are controlling motion when lowering the cylinder is used to help dynamically adjust the setting of the counterbalance valve. Let's now observe what happens as we lower the hydraulic cylinder. The graph shows us that the cylinder speed is steady. Unlike the pilot-operated check valve, which had only 2 states, open and shut, the counterbalance valve continuously modulates, makes small adjustments to the size of the valve opening. As the cylinder, under the influence of gravity, runs ahead a little and pressure in the top cylinder line drops, the counterbalance valve spring pushes the internal orifice more towards the closed position. When that occurs, a motion runaway is prevented, and pressure immediately starts to build again on the top cylinder line, which increases the pilot pressure, which once again increases the size of the opening hole inside the counterbalance valve. All of these adjustments are very small and happen very quickly, so we perceive no uneven motion. We sense no vibration in the machinery. It may not surprise you to find out that many manufacturers of counterbalance valves also refer to them as motion control valves or over-center valves. Counterbalance valve prevents a runaway and still allows for production rate cylinder speeds to take place.
So I hope you can understand the benefit of having this counterbalance valve, which will help in making small adjustments, okay? And makes the operation smoother because it will otherwise have a jerky movement. So this valve prevents the jerky movements and will have a smooth operation for loading and unloading of the cylinder. Okay. So that was with regards to this counterbalance valve. I just tick the attendance. Yes. Now again, let's go back to the PPT and we'll start the flow control valves. Are you able to see the PPT? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the last type of walls which you are supposed to understand in this unit number 4 is the flow control valve. So as the name itself suggests, a valve which controls the flow rate of the fluid into a hydraulic system, we call it as a flow control valve. So they are used to control the flow rate according to the system design. So how do you control this flow? That is possible by throttling or the diversion of the fluid. What is throttling? So basically you have heard this word throttling, which means that we make use of orifices or some throttle valves. Throttling is basically restricting the flow rate by having a converging and diverging section, or we can also divert the flow by passing it through the reservoir using the control valve. Okay, so if you see the diagram of your flow control valve, two things are there. One is the left envelope, which shows the construction of the flow control valve, wherein we have a spring screw adjustment. This is the screw to which a spring has been attached over here and connected to this seating, which will get fixed onto the seat here. So this is the inlet from where the oil will start flowing. Because of the fluid pressure, it will press the spring and the spring will get compressed and the flow will be actuated here. However, there will be a setting that will be fixed for this screw, right? So based on the setting, you can control the flow rate. Suppose you want to have the flow rate of some units, you can fix that by adjusting this screw. So what are the basic functions of this flow control valve? We are going to study actually two types of flow control valve. There are many of them. Two types. One is globe valve and another is needle valve. Okay, these are the two popularly used flow control valves. So basically this flow control valve regulates the fluid pressure, okay, or the flow rate, okay, or in turn the pressure of the fluid. So it responds to the signals that are generated by independent devices. So to have the proper flow control, okay, what we need is we need some elements or units like flow meters or temperature gauges. So what function does it do? It regulates the flow rate in a specific portion of a hydraulic circuit. That is the first function. Controls the flow rate to the actuators. Like it helps to control the flow rate to motors, cylinders, and regulates the speed. Because your speed or the velocity of extension or retraction is proportional to the flow rate. So that is what is you have observed. Also, you people have recently conducted an experiment that is meter in, meter out circuit. We just explained to you what is that meter in and meter out. So if you control the flow rate during the flow inside the cylinder, during the extension stroke, or during the inlet, at the inlet, if you have a flow meter, we call it as meter in. And if you control the flow rate at the outlet of the hydraulic circuit, we call it as it is meter out. Okay, so we will understand that now. The next is that itself, meter in and meter out flow control of the hydraulic cylinder. So basically these two functions it does. So how does it operate? How do you regulate this flow? So this can be modulated through the movement of a valve plug in relation to the port that is located within the valve body. So valve plug is basically attached to the stem, which is connected to the actuator. So once you see that valve, you will understand the globe valve. How does it restrict the flow? We will see it in the next slide. So different types of flow control valves. What are the different types? One is the gate valve. Okay, they generally are used for on-off or non-throttling services. Then we have the globe valves. Okay, globe valves are universally used and widely used valves. Then we have pinch valves, diaphragm valves, needle valves. Okay, but out of these types, we are going to study the gate valve and the the globe valve and the needle valve. So just see these three diagrams. Okay, so you can see in the first diagram, or the first figure represents the stainless steel gate valve. So what is that gate valve? Simply, if you have a rotating handle over here, or rotating kind of a steering, so you can rotate it clockwise and anti-clockwise. So based on the movement, the opening inside will be decided, because there will be a unit that will be seated and it will be in a completely locked position. So you can rotate this and control the flow rate. That is your stainless steel gate valve, which you can see. Second is stainless steel check valve. So check valve is one of the non-return types of valves which we have understood in the earlier classes. So you have free flow in one direction and no flow in the other direction, because it will have a ball which will be seated on the seat and it will lock it. Okay. The third diagram which you can see over here is cast iron butterfly valve. So butterfly valve is something like it has a flap. So this angle of flap, or the angle at which this flap is fixed, is decided by this handle which you can rotate. It's like a steering. So you can rotate this and control the angle at which it is fixed. So this defines the opening. Suppose if it is completely parallel to this periphery of this outer element, then we call it as completely closed, or you can open it by angle. At a particular angle, you can set it and then allow that much amount of fluid to flow. Okay, so you people must have heard that in the dams and all, they release the water, right? So such kind of walls can be used wherein you can release the water from the crest gates. There is a gate system that is made over there, but here you can see this valve. You can decide the flow rate based on the opening. Okay, so that is your flow control valve. That is the three types. Now another important flow control type or flow control valve which you are supposed to understand is your meter in and meter out. So basically metering. That is why the other day we did not upload the video and we didn't tell you much about that meter in and meter out. We told you the procedure of experiment conduction and the readings, but theory part I am covering now. That is why I had not shared that video. So now let us understand the theory of what is meter in and what is meter out. Okay, so metering is nothing but controlling the flow rate. So when do you say it is meter in? In that case, in to out is controlled, okay, and out to in is uncontrolled. What do you mean by this? You are restricting the flow rate when the oil is let into the cylinder. That is meter in. You control the flow rate during the at the inlet. Meter out means what? You control the flow rate at the outlet. This is the symbol of your valve. That is, here we have one flow control valve, okay, and another is the check valve. So if you see the check valve, there will be free flow in this direction, okay, and there will be no flow in the other direction, because this valve will be seated in its position and it will block. There will be no flow. But here from this side, if you allow the flow, it will be possible. You can see here one of the valves in which you have a knob. If you rotate this knob, you can have the opening inside and you can allow the flow of the fluid. So this is what is your meter in and meter out. Okay. So now before we move on to the globe valve and needle valve and its explanations, which are the last two types of valves in this chapter, let us first understand what is that meter in and meter out through a video which will explain you in detail the meter in and meter out. Give me a minute.
In the form of a needle valve, along.com, sizedjudge.com. In this video,
Just a second. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is meter in versus meter out. So both you are going to understand through this video. And meter in we have conducted this week. Okay. So next week it may be fluid machines experiment, and last experiment for you will be meter out. Okay, that we will conduct after 2 weeks. Okay, so let us first understand this theory behind the meter in and meter out. Just if you see this entire circuit diagram, this is your regular connection from the tank through the pump to the filter, and you have a pressure relief valve here which will have the connection to the directional control valve. Okay, so through the directional control valve, one line goes to the inlet, and the connection from the rod end is established back to the tank through this red line. Just if you observe, we were talking about meter in, means what? Controlling the flow rate into the cylinder. I will explain you the theory. As the oil starts entering here, what will happen? There a restriction has been put by using a needle valve. This is a symbol for needle valve. Needle valve means what? You will have the knob, if you rotate, it will have a restricted flow. Along with this, you have a check valve. As the oil starts entering here, full pressure, what will happen? Oil will flow initially here, but it is blocked because it is a check valve. No flow in this direction. Flow can be only in the reverse direction. So what will happen? Oil will try to pass through this opening, but here there is a restriction. So this is, you are controlling the flow rate to the inlet of the hydraulic cylinder. That is why the word meter in has come here. Similarly, if you see the outlet of this actuator, outlet is nothing but the oil from the rod end has to go back to the tank. Where this entire hydraulic actuator is filled with oil. Okay, then so oil from here will be let out. So what will happen? It will have a free flow. There is no restriction here because we are not controlling the flow rate at the outlet. This is meter in, and the oil from here will flow back to the tank. So now meter out we will see later. First we will go through this video and try to understand the concept. Okay, I'll start the video.
So we'll cover the flow control and the concepts of meter in versus meter out. At its most basic level, flow control is used for controlling the speed of a hydraulic cylinder, which is often nothing more than a very formless form of needle valve, along with turn flow check valve. The turn flow check valve usually built right into the same package as the needle valve. So the way we have this particular flow control plugged into the blind end of the cylinder, we are currently set up for a form of flow control called meter in. The word in, the word meter out, is not a reference to which direction the cylinder is traveling, but rather a reference to whether or not we are controlling the rate of flow as fluid enters the cylinder or as fluid is leaving the cylinder. So in this case, we are set up to meter the fluid as it enters the blind end of the cylinder. Fluid will not be able to pass through the check valve. Here we go. It's all working well in the first part of the cylinder's extension, but as you could see, as the load went over center, things got really interesting. Now let's watch meter in flow
Hello.
controlling taking place
Hello.
on the line at the
Yeah,
bottom.
Pratik,
This will be
urgently
here,
message your
the
encode
retracting of the cylinder.
once.
See that fluid is being metered
Hello.
on the bottom line, and oil leaving the blind end port can do so freely through the return flow channel. Let's work forward. Now, of course, what's special about this particular arrangement, we have a load that runs over center. That running load is depending on
No.
understanding what the effects of a runaway load, sometimes referred to as a negative load on a cylinder, might do to various parameters of the hydraulic system. In this case, we can tell that not all is well with the meter in this scenario. What we find out is that it's working well until the point at which the load goes over center, and then the cylinder rod is being moved perhaps a little faster by the load running away than the pump and valve can supply to the cylinder, and hence the very uneven motion that we're seeing, and perhaps even the formation of some cavitation void in the cylinder. A very uneven motion with plenty of undesirable effects. So as you can see, meter in will work fairly well as long as there's no runaway effect. In fact, meter in will work best in the vertical position for extending the cylinder if you had gravity and a load opposing the extension of the cylinder. So quite often you hear us say, give it down to meter out. Well, I'm going to hit a little measure. That's going to change us around to
5,000 ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ 5,000 ನೀನು ಅರ್ಧ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೋಗೋ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಮಂದಿನ ಹೋದ್ರು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಓದು
Notice what's happening with the flow arrows. Putting a pinch on the flow of the hydraulic oil as it's leaving the cylinder. Everything looks much better now that there's a runaway type of load. Perhaps our needle valve, if restricted sufficiently, can control what otherwise might be very unmotion. So that's the difference between meter in and meter out. But don't get rushed to this particular meter arrangement here really highlights the damage to the system. If this particular variable this needle is pinched down too far during extension, believe it or not, if there isn't enough load for the cylinder to push on, and in this case we've even got a negative load, the load is running away with the rod, what can happen is an intensification of pressure between the rod and cylinder portion, and this particular needle valve, this particular line here can become pressured to many multiples of what the pressure is on the backside of the cylinder. Exactly what that multiple or ratio is a function of the surface area difference between the back of the piston and the rod side piston, the annular or washer ring piston on the rod side. So that's a topic for another video, but keep in mind that meter out is not always a perfect scenario either. And really, whenever there's a runaway load, a flow control is a little overly simplistic. And in many cases, when you need to move the load quickly, counterbalance valve is a much better choice, and of course no risk to pressure intensification on the rod side as long as that counterbalance valve has been chosen and specified correctly. So that's an introduction to meter in versus meter out flow controlling as used to control the speed of a cylinder. Thanks for watching.
We have hundreds of interactive resources like this on this channel, so you can try it without knowing anything.
ಫಾಲೋವರ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತದೆ ಈಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಪಗಾರ ನಿನಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಏನು ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಹೌದಿಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ರೊಕ್ಕ ಬರೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪಗಾರ ಅರಿಯರ್ಸಾಗಿ ಬರೋದು ಅದು ಅದು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಹೌದು ಸೊ ನಂಗೆ ಏನು ಇವರು ಫಾಲೋವರ್ಸ್ ಅರ್ಧ ಕತೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಹಂಗದ ಹೌದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಎಸ್ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ವೆಂಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋ So let us break for 15 minutes and we'll get back at around 11:05. Okay, and then we'll start with the last two types of walls. Only last two types of walls are remaining, and then we will take up in the next week the next chapter, that is your circuits. Okay. Okay, so welcome back. Let us go through those the next two types of valves in flow control valve. Let me share the PPT again. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have two methods to control the flow rate through the valve. Okay, from as seen from this diagram, you have a disc that or a plug that can be pressed against an orifice globe, or the second one is needle type valve. So the one which is having a disc or a plug, this disc will be allowing or it will be made to close this opening. For this opening to be closed, you need to make this disc to completely be seated onto this area here. Okay, so it will lock it. So this kind of an arrangement, if we use, we call it as a globe, orifice globe valve, which is popularly named as. Instead of that, if you have a screw or a needle type of an arrangement which will be seated onto this V seating and lock the movement of the oil from one end to other end, we call it as needle valve. So here this is the inlet, this is the outlet. If this disc or globe disc is made to sit onto this position, then it will block the flow. Similarly, here you have a V type of a needle which will be completely, if you rotate this completely by the number of turns required, it will be locking the position here. It will be seated onto this V position and it will block the flow. Okay, so of course you will understand this when I show that video wherein you can clearly see how the valve operates. Okay, so these are the two types of flow control valves. One is the globe valve and the other is needle valve. So what are the specific characteristics of globe valve? Now you can see this is the disc, okay, wherein this is the inlet, this is the outlet, and you have the controlling elements here. So generally a globe valve is a linear motion valve. You can see the movement is linear, that is used to start, stop, or regulate the fluid flow. So it has three primary body designs, like for Z body, Y body, and the angle. Okay, so we are not going into the design details for that, but you can just look into the benefits of using this globe valve. Generally, it is recommended for throttling applications. Generally, this valve is used for if the fluid flow rate is very high. And if the fluid flow rate is low, we can go with needle valve. Okay, so it is good for frequent operation on and off and easy to repair. However, it has some limitations or disadvantages, like the flow path causes a significant pressure drop. Now, if you observe here the arrangement for this globe valve, the inlet, when the oil is moving or is made to enter this valve at certain pressure, there will be a sudden pressure drop because the oil has to traverse this path and then move down, and again it has to go out. So there are all possibilities that the pressure may drop suddenly. So pressure drop is one of the problems in case of this globe valve. Second thing, they are costly than other valves. Okay, the cost, the design of this equipment, this complex texture, or you can say the entire valve design is complicated. So hence, these are the two limitations of globe valve. Okay. Next is needle valve. So now in needle valve, if you observe, it is a type of valve which has a port, small port, and a threaded needle-shaped plunger. Okay, this is the plunger which will be threaded. It's resembling the shape of a needle, and hence it is called as a needle-shaped valve or needle valve. So this allows the precise regulation of flow, although it is capable of having the flow rate generally low. So if the flow rate is less, then we can go for needle valve. If the flow rate is high, then we can go for globe valve. Okay. So they are generally used for the instrument, the gauge, and the meter line service. So where you want to control the flow rate, low flow rates are there, and you want to control that flow rate. So they go for needle valve. It will have a knob. This is like a tap, okay, which you operate. It's similar to that. So what is the construction part of it? You can see it has so many elements. Okay, so the end of the stem is a needle which is pointed and that fits accurately into the seat. It provides a tight closure, okay, with minimum effort. If you just rotate this, okay, the end of the wall will get placed onto the seating and it will completely block the flow. Okay, so accurate throttling is possible because of this, because the control or the needle point of the stem, using this needle point of the stem, we can accurately control the throttling. You can vary the flow rate accurately. So they are extensively used for applications involving high pressure and temperature. Okay, so these needle valves are used for whenever you need high pressure and low flow rate. But if you want a high flow rate, then we have to go for globe kind of valves. Okay, so these are the two types of valves that you people have in your study: needle valve and globe valve. Okay, so what are the other characteristics or how you can explain this needle valve? We can just go through these points. So similar to globe valve, yes, it is similar to globe valve, except that the disc is replaced by a tapered plug, okay, or needle fitting into a tapered valve seat. So on that seat, the needle will be placed. The body of the valve is used to give fine control of the steam or liquid flow. So the flow rate, you have a fine control of the flow. Accurate control of flow is possible because of variable orifice. So what forms the orifice here? It is nothing but the space between the tapered plug and the tapered seat. So here if you see this opening here, okay, once you rotate this anti-clockwise, there will be an opening, so that forms the orifice. So the aseptic applications are very limited. This cannot be used for all the applications wherein you want to control the flow rate. Okay, so it is restricted. That is the problem. So now with this globe valve and needle valve, let us again go back and look on to the operation of this needle valve, how it is operating. Give me a minute. I have retained these links here so that you can refer from the PPT as and when you need to understand or know the operation of valves.
Concepts of meter.
Are you able to see this video? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I shall on this.
Tutorials of mechanisms by me.
Flow control valve, needle valve.
Welcome to the video tutorials of mechanisms by me, Hannes Muller. In my previous video, the working principles of a needle has been explained. One of the biggest shortcomings of the needle valve is that it restricts the flow in both directions. When you use a needle valve for speed control, it has an air cylinder in forward motion. It will also restrict piston motion in return flow. You can solve this problem by adding a quick exhaust valve
Base.
for the air cylinder. I will do an animation of this in the near future. The other solution to put a check valve in tandem with needle valve such that the check valve is filled with the return stroke is in. Uncompensated flow control valve we are going to describe here is actually repackaging the needle valve and check valve combination in a single valve. In this animation, a high pressure flow cylinder is shown with green color and low pressure return flow is shown with blue color. By changing the needle position, we can change the flow rate going toward the cylinder. This way, the forward speed of the piston of the cylinder can be fine-tuned. On the other hand, the reverse flow goes over the check valve and the needle combinations. This permits the fine-tuning of the return flow, since we do not have any control over the flow passing through the check valve openings.
ಈಗ ಆದ್ರೂ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಮಡಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ.
Valves have many applications. They are mainly used in metering. I will do animation of these three important circuits in the near future. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. If you enjoyed this video and found it to be useful, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. We appreciate your support.
Flow control valves are used to control the volume of oils. Let us first consider the simple hypothesis. The cylinder can be controlled by different valves to control the direction.
I hope you got a broad understanding of needle valve. Just a second, give me a minute. Go through this globe valve. How does it operate? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Globe valve these are. This is another interesting video of the globe valve. I was talking regarding the pressure reduction, right? Just observe. Pressure drop.
Bigger S-series globe valves are modular, developed and manufactured strictly in compliance with European standards and require innovative ideas. One of the internals of these valves is separating to three functional modules. For example, the cutoff, throttle, and check modules. And these solutions are according to specific characteristics of each functional module, which are motivated to achieve high reliability and Figured S-series glove valves are available in multiple disc sealing options, including wooden disc, split carbon disc, stop and check disc, the intermediate gasket is made of high temperature resistant metal composite. And packing is also of high temperature and wear resistant composite. Both the stand and body are designed with a back seal feature, which will allow with a plating packing to form a double sealing effect when the valve is being opened, thus providing stand zero leakage and ensuring valve reliability and sealing. Figured S-series glove valves feature short stroke, good sealing performance, long life, and easy maintenance. Depending on different working conditions, functional models of internals can employ different materials and proper service marking techniques to increase their resistance to corrosion, cavitation, and erosion, and thus have their lifespan prolonged. ETM upholds European superb workmanship and maintains high quality and high flexibility, safety and reliability in its valve products. The goal of ETM is to create the first-class ultra-traditional brand in valve field. Europe Technology Manufacturer.
Yes, I hope you went through the video and got the concept of globe wall. Yes. So that's all with regards to your unit number 4. So just all of you please go through all the elements of unit number 4. We started with DCV, then types of DCV, 4x2, 3x2, 5x2, 2x2, and so on. Then we went to spool walls, then we went to different operations, then we went to pressure control walls in that different types, and then we went for flow control walls. So any of the walls can be asked for your examination. Sketch and explain this wall and so on. There will be few photographs which we will be sharing to you on the Google Classroom link. Already I have uploaded the video of the class, yesterday's class, because it's almost the same. Okay, so I have uploaded the video. Go through all the videos. For your second test, there will be a mix of questions from fluid power as well as fluid machines. So 1.5 question will be fluid power and 1.5 will be fluid machines. Okay, so accordingly start preparing. We have not yet evaluated your papers. We will be starting it maybe this week or next week. We are taking it up. Once we are done, we will inform you regarding your marks. Okay, and regarding that Francis turbine, you people had some query, so that is being resolved by Rupa ma'am. So we will share with you regarding that query. Any other doubts? Anything to discuss? Okay, fine then. So let's close for the day, and let's meet in the next week again. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.